All right, so you're getting ready for this plastic rolling machine operator interview,
Uh-huh.
and we are going to take a deep dive into all the RoleCatcher resources that can help you totally ace this thing.
Absolutely.
I've got sample questions, insights, like right from people in the field,
Yeah.
and we'll even take a look at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you a leg up.
It's really like getting a sneak peek behind the curtain of the whole interview process.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, we're going to break down what those interviewers really want to hear
Yeah.
and then give you the tools to come up with some awesome answers.
Love it. So let's just jump right in.
Okay.
First things first, what does a plastic rolling machine operator even do?
Right.
I mean, it sounds kind of straightforward, but I'm guessing there's more to it than meets the eye.
You bet. So basically, you take that raw plastic
Okay.
and you turn it into those perfectly smooth rolls and sheets that you see everywhere. So we're talking precision, quality control, and
Yeah.
knowing those huge machines like the back of your hand.
So it's not just pushing buttons, you're really understanding the entire process.
Right, start to finish.
Gotcha. Now, before we get into the actual interview questions,
Okay.
I am curious about this as a career path. Where can this job take someone?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So RoleCatcher's career guide actually points out that this kind of role can really launch you into all sorts of opportunities.
Really?
Yeah. You could get into a specialty area like extrusion,
Okay.
and that's where you're actually shaping the melted plastic
Wow.
to make things like pipes or films.
That sounds so high tech. What would someone need to know if they wanted to get into that?
Well, you absolutely need to know how the materials flow and how to fine-tune the machine settings.
Okay.
You might even look into courses like in polymer processing,
Oh, wow.
and you could even get specific certifications in extrusion techniques.
So it really sounds like you never stop learning with this.
Oh, absolutely. The plastics industry is constantly changing,
Yeah.
so staying ahead of the game is really key. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, right.
That can actually help you figure out what skills are hot right now,
Uh-huh.
and then make your resume shine by highlighting those.
That is super helpful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, are you ready to tackle some of these interview questions?
Let's do it. I'm excited to really dive into what they're asking
Okay.
and give you some strategies so you can totally nail those answers.
Let's do it. Question number 1. This is a classic.
Okay.
Can you tell us about your experience operating plastic rolling machines?
Okay.
So it seems pretty basic, but what's the interviewer actually trying to figure out here?
They want to know if you've actually got the hands-on experience and the skills to jump right in.
Okay.
So this is your chance to show them what you know about the whole process,
Mm,
about the machines,
yeah.
and if you can handle the day-to-day stuff that comes with the job.
Okay, so it's not just listing out all the machines that I've worked on.
Right.
It's about really showing them I know my stuff.
Yes. Use specific examples to really back up your skills.
Okay.
Did you always beat those production targets?
Mm.
Did you keep things high quality?
Right.
Did you come up with ways to improve anything?
Oh.
Whenever you can, use numbers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, numbers really make a difference.
Okay, so instead of saying like, I operated the machine,
Mm-hmm.
I could say something like, I consistently exceeded production goals by 10%
Exactly.
while maintaining a 99% quality rating.
Boom. You are showing them your value right off the bat.
I love it. Okay.
And be ready for follow-up questions.
Right.
Like, what was the hardest part of that job?
Okay, so have a good example ready to go of something tough and how I overcame it.
Exactly.
What about question number 2?
Okay.
This one's all about quality control.
Uh-huh.
How do you ensure the quality of the final product while operating the machine?
This is where you prove you're detail-oriented, that you're super careful,
Yeah.
and that you get how important it is to make top-notch products.
Yeah, absolutely.
So walk them through your process step by step, from the first checks to the final inspection.
Gotcha. So I might say something like, first you check all the raw materials for any problems. Then while the machine's running, I'm watching the gauges to make sure the pressure is good
Yes.
and making adjustments if I need to.
Perfect.
And then finally, I'd totally inspect those finished rolls to be sure they meet all the specs.
You've got it. You are showing them you've got a system,
Okay.
and that quality is super important to you.
Yeah.
Be ready for follow-ups.
Okay.
Like, have you ever had to reject a product, and why?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's about showing that I'm proactive about quality control
Yes.
and willing to make tough calls to make sure we
Right.
have a good final product.
Exactly.
All right, let's tackle question number 3.
Okay.
This one gets a little technical. Can you explain the different types of plastics used in the rolling process?
Ooh, they want to see your technical know-how on this one.
Okay.
You want to talk about the common types like polyethylene,
Yeah.
polypropylene, and just quickly explain what makes them different and what they're good for.
So I should brush up on my plastic knowledge then,
Yes.
and maybe do some research on the company I'm interviewing with.
Exactly.
See what kind of plastics they work with.
See what they're all about.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to show off what you know.
Right.
They might ask you, what are the challenges of working with, and then name a specific type.
Yeah.
So this is where you can wow them with how much you understand about all those different materials
Okay.
and their little quirks.
So it's not just knowing what they're called.
Right.
It's knowing how they work, how they act when you're actually using them.
You got it. Now, before we go to the next question,
Okay.
I want to mention something really cool that RoleCatcher offers.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually get AI-powered feedback on your answers.
Wait, tell me more about that. I've been curious.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually practice these questions on RoleCatcher.
Mm-hmm.
And their AI looks at your responses and gives you feedback.
Wow.
Like on your language, your tone, even how fast you're talking.
That's amazing. So
Okay.
it's not just what I say, it's how I say it.
Exactly. Those little things can make all the difference in an interview.
For sure.
And the best part is it's all specific to the job you want.
Okay. I am definitely going to have to try that out.
Yes.
All right. Well, are you ready for some more questions?
Bring them on. Let's keep breaking these down and get you ready to impress those hiring managers.
Okay. Question number 4 gets into problem solving. How do you troubleshoot problems that arise during the rolling process?
Right.
I mean, every machine has its quirks, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, they can jam, overheat, have uneven pressure,
Yeah.
and that's where you come in.
Right.
So with this question, you want to show them how you figure things out step by step.
Okay.
Like, how do you even know there's a problem? What
Yeah.
do you do to figure out what's wrong?
So instead of freaking out, I should have a plan.
Exactly.
Okay. So like check the gauges,
Yep.
listen for any weird sounds,
Uh-huh.
maybe even check the manual.
Right, and talk about specific things you've learned
Okay.
or times you fixed stuff before.
Okay.
Like maybe you once figured out a problem with just a worn-out pressure gauge.
That's a good one. Shows I can think things through
Yes.
and get to the root of the issue.
And I bet they'll ask you about a time you fixed a really tricky problem.
Okay. Yeah. So you have a good story
Yeah,
there.
walk them through the whole thing.
Oh.
What was the problem? How'd you figure it out? What did you do? And how'd you fix it?
Okay. So
That's-
stories are good.
Stories make you memorable. They help you stand out.
All right. Story time.
Ah,
On to question 5. How do you maintain and clean the rolling machine?
okay.
So I'm guessing this is more than just wiping it down.
Got it. They want to know if you understand preventative maintenance
Mhm.
and if you know all the safety stuff.
Okay.
So go into detail about your cleaning routine,
Yeah.
what tools you use, what cleaners, and make sure they know you follow the manufacturer's instructions.
So it's about showing them I'm careful, responsible.
Yes,
And I get that keeping the machine clean means it's safe and it works better.
exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI
Oh, yeah.
can give you feedback on how you're explaining all this.
Okay.
Are you sounding confident? Are you using the right words? It's like having an expert fine-tune your whole delivery.
Okay, so no more guessing if I'm doing it right.
Right.
What about follow-up questions for this one?
They might ask about the safety procedures you follow when you're doing maintenance.
Oh, okay.
They want to see that you put safety first
Yeah.
and that you know about any dangers.
Right.
This is where you can talk about things like lockout, tagout procedure.
Lockout, tag out. What's that?
It's how you make sure the machine's totally off
Oh, okay.
before you work on it so it doesn't accidentally start up and hurt you.
Gotcha. Better safe than sorry.
Absolutely. Make sure you know all that safety stuff before you go in.
Okay, good point. All right, moving on to question 6. How do you ensure safety while operating the rolling machine? Okay,
This one seems really important.
super important.
Yes.
Safety is a huge deal in any factory.
Yeah.
So they want to know you take it seriously
Yeah.
and that you're always thinking ahead.
Okay, so I should talk about wearing the right safety gear,
Yes.
knowing what's going on around me,
Uh-huh.
and following all the safety rules.
Be specific. Mention that lockout dad stuff again, the emergency stop button.
Okay.
Any safety checks you do regularly.
Gotcha. Those are good reminders.
They might also ask you if you've ever run into a safety issue at work and how you handled it.
So this is where I can show that I can stay calm when things get crazy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And remember, when you're practicing with RoleCatcher's AI,
Yeah.
you can even record yourself on video
Really?
and get feedback on your body language.
No way.
Yeah, it's not just what you say, it's how you look when you say it.
That's next level. All right, question 7. How do you prioritize and manage your workload while operating multiple machines?
Okay.
Sounds like it could get pretty hectic.
So I'm guessing multitasking is a big deal.
Definitely. This is where you show them you're organized
Yeah.
and can stay focused even when things are busy.
Right.
So tell them how you keep track of everything.
Okay.
Do you use a list, an app? What's your system? The key is to show them you can handle all the demands of the job without messing up quality or safety.
Okay, and maybe they'll ask what I do if two machines broke down at the same time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That shows them you can think on your feet
Right.
and make good decisions even when something unexpected happens.
Yeah.
Now let's switch gears for a minute and talk about moving up in your career.
Okay.
You mentioned you were interested in specializing.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering what other areas besides extrusion are there?
Well, injection molding is a big one.
Okay.
That's where you inject melted plastic into a mold to make complicated shapes. It takes a lot of know-how about mold design,
Okay.
material properties, and the whole injection molding process.
So if someone wanted to go that route, what skills should they have?
Courses in mold design, material science,
Okay.
and injection molding tech would be great.
Uh-huh.
You could also look into certifications from groups like the Society of Plastics Engineers.
So there's really a lot of options for growth in this field.
Totally. And RoleCatcher's career guide can help you explore all that and see what you need to know to succeed.
All right, so back to the interview questions.
Yes. Question 8. Can you explain how you set up the rolling machine for a specific product?
But this one sounds like I need to know the machine really well
Uh-huh.
and all those different plastics.
You got it. Walk them through the whole setup.
Yeah, okay.
Mention anything you change depending on the thickness, width, or what kind of plastic it is. For example, you might adjust the roller gap,
Okay.
the temperature, or how fast the line's moving.
Yeah, okay.
It all depends on what kind of plastic you're working with.
So show them I can adapt to different needs.
Exactly.
Okay.
They might ask, what are the key things you think about when you're setting up the machine for something new?
Okay.
It's about showing them you understand why you're doing each step, not just blindly following directions.
Gotcha. I'm not just pushing buttons.
Right.
I get the whole process.
Exactly. Now, question 9 is all about efficiency. How do you ensure the rolling machine operates efficiently and effectively? This is your chance to show them you're always trying to improve things.
Okay.
That you're not just okay with doing things the way they've always been done.
Okay, so I should mention regular maintenance,
Yes.
watching for problems,
Uh-huh.
maybe even suggesting ways to make things better.
You got it. It shows them you're a thinker,
Right.
not just a doer.
Okay.
They might ask you to tell them about a time you made a machine work better.
Okay, so have a good example ready.
Yes. One with numbers, if you can.
Okay, numbers speak louder than words.
Especially in a factory.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Last question, and it's a classic. Can you give an example of a problem you encountered while operating the rolling machine and how you solved it?
Ooh, a classic.
It feels like every interview asks this.
They do. It's because it shows how you solve problems in the real world.
So what makes a good answer here?
Pick something specific that shows you can think things through.
Okay.
Explain the problem clearly, how you figured it out, what steps you took,
Yeah.
and how you finally fixed it.
Show them. Don't just tell them.
Exactly.
Paint a picture with my words.
Yes, and be ready for them to ask what you learned from that experience.
Okay.
It shows them you can learn from your mistakes and keep getting better.
All right, I'm ready to tell my story of troubleshooting success. So we covered all 10 questions.
We did it.
And I have to say, I feel a lot more prepared now.
That's the power of practice. Remember, confidence is key.
Right.
Go in there knowing your stuff and let your passion for this work shine through.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah.
That AI stuff can really help.
It's like having a team of career experts cheering you on.
Amazing. But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I'm still curious about how RoleCatcher's AI actually analyzes those interview answers.
Sure. Let's break down the magic of AI interview prep. So we've talked about a lot, like what a plastic rolling machine operator actually does, how to nail those interview questions. But let's really get into how RoleCatcher's AI can take you to the next level.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was curious about.
It's all about data and feedback.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about practicing your answers? Well, RoleCatcher actually takes it a step further.
Okay.
You record yourself. You can even do it on video if you want.
Really?
And then their AI goes to work.
Okay, so I'm talking to my computer. That's a little weird, but interesting. What is it actually looking for?
It's like having a personal coach for your interview. It analyzes how you're talking.
Okay.
Like you're pacing.
Okay.
You're talking too fast. too slow?
Okay.
Is your tone engaging, confident? Are you using clear language?
Oh, wow. It's like having a real person listening and giving me notes in real time.
Yeah.
But how does it know what's good?
That's the cool part. RoleCatcher's AI has been trained on tons of successful interviews for all kinds of jobs, including plastic rolling machine operators.
Right.
So it knows what hiring managers are looking for,
Yeah.
both in what you say and how you say it.
So this isn't just some generic advice.
Right.
It's actually for the job I'm applying for.
Exactly. And it doesn't just tell you what you're doing wrong.
But
It actually gives you suggestions on how to fix it.
wow.
Like maybe you're using too many technical terms, or your answers are too long,
Yeah.
or you're not really showing off your accomplishments.
Okay.
The AI will point those things out and help you make your answers better.
It's like I have a secret weapon to help me get ready
Yes.
and feel more confident.
And the more you practice, the better you'll get at presenting yourself as the perfect candidate.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I went from interview newbie to pro in like an hour.
That's great to hear. Remember, confidence is key.
Okay.
Go in there prepared, ready to show them how much you love this work.
Yeah.
And with RoleCatcher on your side, you'll definitely stand out.
All right. So to wrap this all up, we talked about the job, how to get ready for the interview, and even how AI can give you that extra boost.
That's right.
To all our listeners out there, definitely check out RoleCatcher and their AI tools.
Yeah, it's a total game changer if you're trying to move up in your career.
Absolutely. It's like having an unfair advantage.
I like that.
All right. Well, that's it for this deep dive. Best of luck with your interview.
You got this.
And remember, you got this. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of careers.